Andy Warhol quotes that inspires. Making money is art and working is art and good business is the best art. Don't pay any attention to what they write about you. Just measure it in inches. The most exciting attractions are between two opposites that never meet. I never think that people die. They just go to department stores. If you're not trying to be real, you don't have to get it right. That's art. During the 1960s, I think, people forgot what emotions were supposed to be, and I don't think they've ever remembered. I think having land and not ruining it is the most beautiful art that anybody could ever want to own. We live in an age when the traditional great subjects, the human form, the landscape, even newer traditions such as abstract expressionism, are daily devalued by commercial art. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. I just happen to like ordinary things. When I paint them, I don't try to make them extraordinary. I just try to paint them ordinary. Art is anything you can get away with. Being good in business is the most fascinating kind of art. Making money is art and working is art and good business is the best art. I'm afraid that if you look at a thing long enough, it loses all of its meaning. It's the movies that have really been running things in America ever since they were invented. They show you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, how to feel about it, and how to look how you feel about it. An artist is somebody who produces things that people don't need to have. Employees make the best dates. You don't have to pick them up and they're always tax deductible. Dying is the most embarrassing thing that can ever happen to you, because someone's got to take care of all your details. People need to be made more aware of the need to work at learning how to live because life is so quick, and sometimes it goes away too quickly. Being born is like being kidnapped and then sold into slavery. Don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they are deciding, make even more art. I never understood why when you died, you didn't just vanish. Everything could just keep going on the way it was, only you just wouldn't be there. I always thought I'd like my own tombstone to be blank, no epitaph, and no name. Well, actually, I'd like it to say Figment. I used to have the same lunch every day. For 20 years, I guess, the same thing over and over again. Fantasy love is much better than reality love. I have social disease. I have to go out every night. If I stay home one night, I start spreading rumors to my dogs. I had a lot of dates, but I decided to stay home and dye my eyebrows. The idea is not to live forever. It is to create something that will. My fascination with letting images repeat and repeat, or in film's case run on, manifest my belief that we spend much of our lives seeing without observing. When you think about it, department stores are kind of like museums. If you want to know all about Andy Warhol, just look at the surface of my paintings and films and me. And there I am. There's nothing behind it. I'm the type who'd be happy not going anywhere as long as I was sure I knew exactly what was happening at the places I wasn't going to. I'm the type who'd like to sit home and watch every party that I'm invited to on a monitor in my bedroom. Once you got pop, you could never see a sign again the same way again. And once you thought pop, you could never see America the same way again. The most exciting thing is not doing it. If you fall in love with someone and never do it, it's much more exciting. My idea of a good picture is one that's in focus and of a famous person. I've decided something. Commercial things really do stink. As soon as it becomes commercial for a mass market, it really stinks. Since people are going to be living longer and getting older, they'll just have to learn how to be babies longer. I used to think that everything was just being funny, but now I don't know. I mean, how can you tell? Sex is more exciting on the screen and between the pages than between the sheets. I like to work when I'm not working, do something that may not be considered work, but to me it's work. Getting exercise by going to the grocery store. I'm for mechanical art. When I took up silkscreening, it was to more fully exploit the preconceived image through the commercial techniques of multiple reproduction. So many people seem to prefer my silver screenings of movie stars to the rest of my work. It must be the subject matter that attracts them, because my death and violence paintings are just as good. When I got my first television set, I stopped caring so much about having close relationships. I'd asked around 10 or 15 people for suggestions. Finally, one lady friend asked the right question. Well, what do you love most? That's how I started painting money. I always like to see if the art across the street is better than mine. I'll bet there are a lot of artists that nobody hears about who just make more money than anybody. The people that do all the sculptures and paintings for big building construction. We never hear about them, but they make more money than anybody. I always hear myself saying, she's a beauty, or he's a beauty, or what a beauty, but I never know what I'm talking about. I love Los Angeles, and I love Hollywood. They're beautiful. Everybody's plastic, but I love plastic. I want to be plastic. People sometimes say the way things happen in the movies is unreal, but actually, it's the way things happen to you in life that's unreal. I went to vote once, but I got too scared. I couldn't decide whom to vote for. I suppose I have a really loose interpretation of work, because I think that just being alive is so much work at something you don't always want to do. The machinery is always going, even when you sleep. You need to let the little things that would ordinarily bore you suddenly thrill you. What's great about this country is that America started the tradition where the richest consumers buy essentially the same things as the poorest. Sometimes, people let the same problem make them miserable for years when they could just say, so what? That is one of my favorite things to say. So what? Please like, comment your best quotes and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.